So the next topic to be discussed is functions in C language. This is user-defined functions. Okay. So in the very beginning classes we have discussed that C is a procedure-oriented language. Means each and every module is called as one function. So the modularization of language will be starting from functions. Okay, so how can you define a function? Means it can be a user-defined function, predefined function, whatever it may be. A function is a piece of code which is going to perform a specific task. Okay, just a small example I will explain. Suppose my C application may be consisting of a common application like calculation of employees salary. So how you are going to calculate employee salary normally? So to calculate the employee salary, so many criteria we have to consider, like seniority, allowances, bonus, TS, DS, and number of leaves he has taken in the month. Okay, based on several things we are going to calculate that what is that employee salary. Okay, now employee salary finding out for a single application, okay, becomes, we can write the code in the application. Suppose several applications are there, several C applications. Okay, so just imagine, so in the several applications we have to repeatedly calculate what? Employee salary. Okay, so if you want to calculate the employee salary repeatedly, so instead of writing same code in the different applications, so we can write the employee code, the employee salary calculation. Okay, once you write the employee salary calculation and you make it centralized, just you make it centralized. So once you centralized, the centralizing means just you put the code in a function. So once it is putting in the function, so that particular function can be used by several C applications. Means what advantage we are going to achieve this here? The main advantage is what? It is going to provide reusability feature. So instead of writing same code within each and every application, okay, just I will write the code and I will put the code in a small function. And whenever I require for calculation of employee salary, just I will call that function name. Just I will call that function name where I put salary calculation. Okay, so it is not local to any function. So it can be used by any number of applications, any number of C applications. Any number of C applications it can be used. So the main advantage is what? Here we are going to have reusability. Once a function is developed, so we can use it by any number of functions. Just I will show it. There are many applications. Suppose A.C is there, B.C is there, C.C is there. So all these functions require a common task. What is a common task here? Employee salary. So this is just like a function. It is a function, and this function is going to contain what? Some codes, some coding part. So the coding part especially it is for calculating employee salary. Okay. So this function is going to take what? Employee basic salary and employee number. So based on employee basic salary, and it is going to calculate salary. So not only basic salary, it is going to take like DA, DS, many allowances it is going to take. Okay. So this is centralized one. So this is common. This is common to each and every function. Now, so once it is developed and the code is kept under this employee salary, and this particular code can be used by many functions like this. So this is A.C, B.C and C.C. So these applications are calling this function. So if this function is not there, and A.C, B.C, C.C, all these functions have to repeatedly write this code. So instead of writing the code repeatedly, just I have put the code under a specific function. What is the function name here? Employee salary. Employee salary can be used by A.C, B.C, C.C. So the main advantage of functions is what? Reusability feature. So since this function is developed by users, developers, so these functions are called as user defined functions. Okay. Now the main advantage of user defined function is it is going to provide reusability. Okay. What kind of reusability we are going to achieve here? A.C, B.C, C.C. So three applications are using this common function. Okay. So these three applications are repeatedly reusing these functions. So that what happens here? By reusability of the code, what happens? The compilation time is saved, manpower is saved, time is saved. So many advantages are there by reusability feature. Okay. So this is regarding functions. So next, here we have to define many things over here. So what are the things we have to remember? First, what is meant by calling function? Calling function and call functions, both are different here. Calling and called functions. So what is a calling function and what is called function? Just I will discuss here calling and called functions. So here in this example, A.C, B.C, C.C. So these three applications are repeatedly calling employee salary. Repeatedly calling employee salary. Now A.C, B.C, C.C are called as calling functions. These are calling functions. That means in A.C one function is there. From that function we are going to call employee salary. Okay. So A.C, B.C, C.C, these are called as calling functions. And employee salary, this is called what? This is called as called function. That means called function. So here what do you have to remember here? How can you define calling and called functions? A function means A.C, B.C, C.C are going to define some functions. Okay, within that function, from that function we are going to call this function. That means what is a calling function here? A function which calls another function. A function which calls another function is called calling function. And a function which is being called by other function is called what? Called function. In this case, A.C, B.C, C.C. So these applications may be having different functions. Those functions will be calling this function. So A.C, B.C, C.C are called as calling functions. Employee salary becomes what? Called functions. And one more thing you have to observe here. Just I will take small example over here. Suppose here my intention is to write calling function and called function. Just to look at this. Suppose this function name is, this application name is A.C. So this application is main function is, it could define main function. Within this A equal to 10, B equal to 20. Okay, of course initially I won't take any parameters, just I will call a function F1. And what happens here? F1 printf this is F1 function. See, both are defined. Just imagine A.C means F1 function can be defined within same application, or it can also be defined by other application, other .c application. Okay, no problem. So here what happens here, whenever flow is started, void main, what happens here immediately? The compiler encounters what? F1. So by this what happens, automatically the flow of execution will be shifted to F1. Okay. So within F1 it is going to perform all the tasks first. So after performing all the tasks and when it encounters closing bracket, what happens automatically? It is going to return the next line of f1. Next line of f1. So in this case, this is called as what? Calling function. Calling function. And this is called as what? Called function. Calling and called functions. Calling and called function means main function is calling f1 function. So main function becomes calling function, f1 function becomes a called function. Okay. So this f1 function can be used by many functions, many other functions. So just I will take one more example. This is first example. So second example. Void I will take integer a equal to 10, b equal to 20. Just you have a look here. CLR, SCR. Just to call this F1 A comma B. And you get CH. F1 just to look at these two examples. This is 1, 2 and this is 3, 4. So the difference between two versions is in the first and second, just communication will be occurred, that's all, between main function and f1. But there is no data communication. So the a.c function is not going to submit any data to f1 function. And f1 function is not going to give any data, return any value to main function. Okay. So this is first category. So what is the first category? A function without arguments and without any return values. A function without arguments and without any return values. So this comes under first category. So under first category, just calling function calls called function, and after performing everything in the called function, automatically control will be returning. Control will be back to the calling function. Okay. And next one, just you look at the second version. So it is a third and fourth. Just imagine third and fourth. This is calling function and called function. And what I am doing here? Void main. So within this main, what I am doing here? Integer a equal to 10, b equal to 20. So these two values I am passing to which function here? A, b. Means, so this is a function with arguments. This is a function with arguments and without return values. So the moment the compiler encounters f1, what happens? Automatically the flow is shifted to, the control is shifted to f1. So what happens here? A comma b. So we are passing a comma b. So this a and b, these are called as actual arguments. These are called as actual arguments. That means the variable which are created in calling function are called as actual arguments. Okay. So the variables, that means when you are passing a, b, so there must be some duplicate variables in the called function. So what happens here? The value of a is assigned to x and the value of b is assigned to what? Y. So a and b are actual arguments and x and y, so these are called as formal arguments, formal parameters. Formal parameters. That means here in the calling function 2 plus 2, 4 bytes are created. For these 2 bytes, another 4 bytes are duplicated in called function. Another 2 bytes are created in called function. Okay, so this x and y are duplicated versions, duplicate copies of a and b. Okay, so now this is a function without argument, with arguments and without return values. First category, this is a function with arguments and a function without arguments and without return values. Second category is a function with arguments and without return values. This is second category. So the third category will be like this. Just look at this, that is third, fourth. This is 5, 6. Void main. Here I will declare three variables: integer a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and c. Here I will call same function f1 a comma b. And all LHS I am giving what? C. So the value written by called function will be assigned to C here. Printf the sum percentage D is C. Say get ch. Just I will write f1 also here. f1 integer x, integer y. Just look at this, return x plus y. See, this is third category. So in the third category, two-way data communication is occurred. Means calling function is going to pass values to called function, and in the called function some calculations are occurred. So at the end of calculations, the calculated value will be returned to calling function. See, so when compiler encounters this line, a integer a equal to 10, b equal to 20, what happens here? C equal to f1 a comma b is occurred. C equal to f1 a comma b is occurred. So what happens here? A value is assigned as x and b value is assigned as what? Y. So these are a and b, as we have discussed in the previous example. These are called actual arguments, and x and y, these are the duplicated copies of a and b. So these are called as formal parameters. So finally what I am returning here? X comma y. So x plus y. So explicitly you have to return a value in the third category. So third category x plus y means the value of a is 10, this is 10 and this is 20. Means 10 plus 20. So 30 is written as which variable? C variable. Clearly the return value is stored in LHS variable. C equal to f1 a comma b. Means the sum percentage D C value is printed. So this is two-way communication. First category is what? There is no data communication between calling and call function. Means a function without arguments and without return values. Second category, only one-way data communication. Means calling function will be sending arguments to call function, but the call function does not return any value to the calling function. So this is one-way data communication. Means function with arguments and without return values. Third category is what? Two-way data communication. Means calling function passes arguments to call function. The call function also passes the calculated value to the calling function. So the third category is what? A function with arguments and with return values. Okay. So just I will show all these versions in the computer system. Just you have a look. So this is main function declaration. Now at the end of main function declaration, just to define f1. f1 does not take any arguments. This is because this is the first category. Just you print a message, printf function f1. A warning will come. So what is the warning? I will discuss the next topic. Like this. See, just I will show line by line execution so that you will be able to understand very easily how the control is transferring from one function to another function. Okay, this is the message before function call in main. F1, now it has encountered F1. So automatically flow will be shifted to F1. Okay, function F1. So after performing entire actions in F1, automatically it goes back to next after function call in main. Next get ch will be executed, program will be terminated. Okay, 3 messages before function call in main, function call function f1, after function call in main. Okay, the first and last messages are in main function, the middle message is in function 1. This is first category. Okay, so just I will discuss second category. So in the second category, just I will take 2 variables. Integer a equal to 10, b equal to 20. So these 2 variables I am passing to f1, means a comma b. Here I will declare 2 variables as I have shown integer x comma integer y. Just you print the sum here. Printf sum is percentage d x plus y. Just look at the flow. A is equal to 10 now, b is equal to 20. So this a is equal to 10 and 20 I am passing to f1 function. Now a is assigned as x, b is assigned as y. Now finally it is going to display what, how much? 30. The before function call in main sum is 30, after function call in main. So this is the second category. So when coming to third category is different. This is only function with arguments but without return values. The calling function passes arguments to called function, but the called function does not return any value to calling function. It is a very simple example. Next I will show third category. Third category is a function with arguments and with return values. Just I will make a copy. Function 3, third category. Here I will take one more variable called c. Here you put c equal to f1. Here just you write what return f1 plus f2, sorry, return x plus y, x plus y, x plus y. This is the third category. Okay, just have a look, just I will show it line by line. Now a equal to 10, b equal to 20, c. Before function call in main, now f1 is called. From this directly the flow is shifted to f1 function. So in the f1 function what happens here? X and y will be created. X and y will be created for a and b. Here a is assigned as x, b is assigned as y. So next, in the next line what I am doing, return x plus y means 10 plus 20, 30 is returned to I am not printing now, so just you print, just I will print that value. And sum is percentage d, print c. After function call in main and sum is 30. This is third category. 30. Okay. Now calling function, main function is calling f1 function. Main function becomes calling function. F1 function becomes called function. So while calling main function, f1 function, it is passing two arguments. So these two arguments are called actual arguments, as I have shown in the previous topic. And for a and b in the called function, x and y's are created. Okay, so x and y's are duplicated. The value of a is assigned to x, value of b is assigned to y. Finally it is going to return x plus y. So the return value will be stored into c. So this is third category, a function with arguments and with return values. Now look at this matter. Look at this program. Previously, when I compile this program, what was happening here? A warning has come. So what is the warning actually? Every time a function must return a value. Every time a function must return a value. So as we did not specify any return type, what happens here? The message was coming. So how to overcome that message? To overcome that message, the called function must be defined explicitly. In these three categories, I did not declare any called function. Okay, that means when a function is returning a value other than integer, that function must be declared clearly. Okay, so where I have to declare that function clearly? Before main function. So if you define main function, nothing will happen, the error will not come. So what I have to return here? What is the procedure? Procedure is, first we have to specify the return type. Return type integer. F1 is taking two integers, int comma int. Now no error will come. This is called as what? Declaration of function. Declaration of function. Declaration of function. So in the declaration, first means int. Okay, this is called as which kind of value f1 is returning, and what is the function name, and what are the particulars of the actual arguments. What are the particulars of arguments? Int comma int means f1 is a function which is going to return an integer value and which is going to take two arguments, integer arguments. This is one procedure. This is one procedure for third category. Okay, so when you declare this, what happens here? No error will come, no warning will come. So directly 30 will be displayed. So in the previous models, okay, previous models means the second model is a function with arguments and without return values. If a function is not returning anything, means the function name must be preceded by void keyword. Just like this. Just to open second one. This is function 2. Think. Function 2, open it. Okay, here also I did not declare a function. So how you can declare this? So in this case f1 is not returning anything, just within f1 only we are printing the express y value, we are printing the results. So as it is not returning anything, so the f1 must be defined like this, void f1, but it is taking 2 arguments, int comma int. This is what? Declaration of f1. Now put a comment. Now type mismatch. So here also you have to specify what? Void keyword. Okay, this is 30. Means this is a declaration. Once the declaration is over, anywhere you can call it. And while implementing function, what do you have to do? You have to declare it clearly as per the prototype. This is like this. Now how to declare the function? Just to look at this line, void f1 int comma int. This is called declaration. Declaration is different, definition is different. In the declaration, like an ordinary variable, a function must be declared. So once a function is declared, so that can be defined anywhere. Definition means again it is going to have implementation of the function. Okay, so the first line void f1 int, this is called as declaration of f1, and this line, this is called as definition. This is implementation or definition. Implementation of the function. This is implementation. Okay, so the declaration includes what? Return type, function name, and type of arguments which it is taking. This is called declaration, and in the implementation actual application logic we are going to write. Okay, so always the return type, function name, the type of arguments must be matched, otherwise the compiler is going to show error. So here just you look at this void keyword, here void is there, here also void is there. Okay, f1 two integers, int comma int, int x comma int y, means void is matched here, f1 is matched, int is matched, int is matched. Okay, void is return type, f1 is function name, int comma to integer arguments it is taking. So this is called as declaration. So the declaration includes what? Return type first, means which kind of value it is returning, means whether it is returning a integer type, floating point number, double, character, whatever it may be. But if a function is not returning anything, clearly we must mention what? Void. Clearly we must mention void. Void means it means that not returning anything, f1 int comma int. So it is taking 2 integer arguments. So the declaration and definition must be matched every time, otherwise the compiler is going to raise error. Okay, declaration and definition must be matched. So void f1 int comma int x comma int y. Okay, first one is declaration of f1, second one is what? Implementation of, this is also called as definition, function definition. implementation, or you can also say, or definition of the function. Before function call mean sum is 30, after function call in main. So this is first category declaration. And when coming to second category, this is second category, first category also I will show. C programs, function 1. Here also we have to declare function. So there is no data communication. So this is a function without arguments, without return value. So you have to say void f1, say void. Here also it must be matched. Void. Now it is okay. Okay. In the declaration, what I said here, void, both must be matched. Function name f1 is matched. Void means here also it is not taking an arguments and it is not returning anything. So void, this is for return type. Void, this is for incoming data, input data. Input it is not taking, and it is not sending any output. So this comes under first category, a function without arguments and without return values. Just look at the function. Just I will write here. Just I will make a comment. This function is not taking and returning any value. So this is function declaration. This is function definition. Okay, 3 functions I have discussed.